Has the cowardly lion got just more courage than it deserves?
Hi, Tyler. Good to be with you. And I think we need to remember that September, we did not see those large mega cap technology stocks leading. So we have had moments of a pause in that leadership, and we've let other stocks catch up to some degree. And we've seen some rotation within the market away from those large cap growth names into some more cyclical and value names. But by and large, you're correct. They have led the market for many years. They continue to lead the market in this pandemic. And on a year-to-date basis, not being in these mega cap technology stocks has been a mistake for investors that have not had exposure there. And to us, it doesn't really make us nervous to see that kind of leadership. I mean, most bull markets are led by a small group of stocks. I mean, if you look at most of the research going back, many decades, I think back to the mid-1920s, about 4% of the stocks in the publicly listed space result in almost all of the gains for the equity market. So it's actually not unusual to have that kind of leadership in a bull market. So if you're assembling a portfolio of individual securities, as many of our viewers do, Jason, should 2 or 3 or all 5 of those 5 horsemen be core holdings in your portfolio? Or do you have 1 or 2 that you'd say, you got to be there, but maybe not there? So for us specifically, we own Apple, we own Amazon, we own Alphabet and Microsoft. We do not own Facebook. So I think you can pick and choose the best companies within the technology space. And it's really the same process across all the sectors. That's not just technology, but consumer discretionary or industrials, financials. You want to make sure that once you screen for the tailwinds within a sector that you think merit having portfolios tilted that way, you then find the companies within those sectors and industry groups that are the best and brightest to own. So I don't think you have to own all of them, but you certainly want to have exposure to the ones that you think have the widest moats and the best returns on capital and that aren't overly expensive on a valuation basis.
Putting your company's money where your mouth is, always like to see that. Joanna, let me turn to you and let's talk about the risk of regulation. Last week, a House subcommittee came out with a 400-plus page report. I can't tell you that I've read every line of it, far from it. But we had the chairman on. Is this a precursor to possible legislative action, or is the greater risk to a couple of these companies, namely Google and Amazon and Facebook, going to come either from the Justice Department or the FTC?
Yeah, I think we're right now, I didn't read it all either, maybe only like 200 pages. But we're right now in this regulatory purgatory. I think for the companies, also for users, we don't really know what's going to happen here. And I think what you said is accurate, right? We don't know if it's going to come from the SEC. We don't know if it's going to come from the Justice Department. I think what we do know is that 2 companies in particular are going to be the brunt of the focus at first, or at least they are building the case against Google or Alphabet and Facebook first. I think we're seeing that throughout the report, and the report was very clear that those 2 companies hold monopolistic power, and the others are certainly a threat, both Amazon and Apple, but these other 2 mega companies have used their power to extreme benefit.
So I guess the question that comes into my head is, are they big because they're good or big because they've been bad? Joanna?
I think it's a combination of both of those things. I think they got big because they were good. All 4 of the companies, we all use their products in some shape or form. And I think that was because they were good. Jason talked before about our reliance on these companies during the pandemic. There's a reason for that. Then, of course, how they used that market power and how they used their value. In some cases, it might have been bad. And I think we're going to see, I'm very interested in the consumer impact, what this has on users, because really that's what built here, right? We began using these products. We've been relying on them. They built ad networks around them. What happens now? Do they break off certain products? Does that impact consumer or customer benefit or our use of these products, like a Google Chrome or Instagram? That's what remains to be seen, and how that legislation and the regulation will play out.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.